Hey guys, it's me. I am going to give you some notes on books 1, 5, and the rest of the books. I'm going to try to give you some audio for it. I apologize for not being able to do it sooner, but while I was away, I wasn't able to do the Wi-Fi. It wasn't easy like I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to try to give you what I can now. It is late. I'm having a hard time getting used to the hour change because it's an 8-hour difference in Dubai. I hope you guys had an awesome spring break, and definitely, hopefully, you did not wait until last minute to read all this stuff because, it was a good chunk of books, even though I think they were really interesting. So, this is what we have for book number 1. I jotted this down because I didn't have the hard copy of the story, but this is like my active reading notes that I would have written all over the page. So I know that book 1 starts off with asking the muse, the goddess of inspiration, to tell of Odysseus' story. They describe Odysseus as being skilled in fighting and that he's had to wander the seas for a really long time. Actually, after he fought in the Trojan War, remember we read that story about the Trojan horse, and that he's the one that comes up with the horse idea. So then it also tells of his journeys in general, how he saw lots of men and lots of lands, and he had some really tough nights and days. Hopefully you're pausing this and jotting some notes down as we go along. It also talks about how he fought to try to save his life and bring his men that were on his ship home, but he couldn't save them. It does mention something about they ate from Helios's cattle. If you guys remember, Helios is the god of the sun. Then I did tell you had to read the part that was in italics, okay? The font that looks like this, right? And that it said that Athena, the goddess of wisdom, asked, oh, hold on, I just realized this just moved. She asked Zeus to help him get home because he's been wandering for so long. So he agrees, I guess, to help her allow him to get home. So it also mentions that he's been gone for 10 years, and while he is home, or while he's away, his son, who he left as a child, is now a grown man. His wife Penelope has been surrounded by suitors. Suitors are men that want to marry her, and there's like a ton of them. But she stays loyal to Odysseus and keeps hoping that he's going to come back one day. The suitors, however, they're rude and they actually eat and drink like if they're in their own house, which is not the right thing to do. And on top of that, they obviously don't want Odysseus to come home. And Telemachus, who is Odysseus' son, he travels to go see if he hears any news from his father. While he's gone, the suitors plan on killing him. They don't think that Odysseus is going to come back, and they just want to get rid of everything so they can just keep living the life that they've been living for like the last 7-10 years, okay? That was basically what book 1 talked about. Then we move on to book number 5. This takes place on Calypso's island. So book number 5, we find out that Odysseus has been held as a prisoner for 7 out of the 10 years that he's been wandering. So you have to think about this as a timeline. He was gone for like 10 years for the Trojan War, and then he was gone for another 10 years wandering the seas. So out of those 10 years, 7 years he's trapped on this island with Calypso, who's a goddess. She's kept him there. So Zeus, since he told Athena that he would help, sends Hermes, who's the messenger god, to tell Calypso that she has to let him go and that she has to help him, but the only way that she can help him is by helping him build a raft. So in that first page of book 5, it basically talks about how beautiful the island is. It gives us a setting, how relaxing, how calm it is, Calypso's beautiful voice. It's just very inviting. So then Hermes gets there. Calypso invites him so that he can have food and drink with her. But then she hears the bad news about how she has to let Odysseus go. She's not happy, but she has no choice because Zeus is the one who told her she has to do it. and Zeus, we know, is the god of all the gods. She goes to look for Odysseus, and he's sitting by a rock. He's actually looking out in the ocean, and he's got tears in his eyes. He's kind of sad. He's obviously missing his home, and that's why he's looking out into the ocean. She describes Odysseus. She calls him son of Laertes, versatile Odysseus. There's That's just a description that she uses for him. She asks him that if after all these years he's been with her, and you actually, I don't know if you guys got this part, but she's kept him there, and she's basically made him her lover for all these years. So his wife is at home being loyal to him, but he's kind of put in a situation where I guess he has no choice, if that's the best way I can put it. So she asks him if he really still misses his home. I mean, why wouldn't he want to just stay on that island, live with her, be with her forever? Isn't she beautiful? She tries to convince him to stay. She tells him that he can be immortal. She even questions whether or not, like, she's beautiful. I mean, like, can Penelope, who's immortal, be more beautiful than her? So Odysseus is really careful about how he answers her. And he tells her that, yes, Calypso, you're so beautiful. Like, really, his wife can't be more beautiful than her. But he really does miss her, and he misses his home. So even though she doesn't want to, she helps him build a raft, and she lets him go off into the ocean. He has to deal with some harsh weather. His raft basically breaks, and he winds up on shore. This all happens within 20 days. So that's book 1 and book 5, and that'll take us over to book 9. Okay? I will do that in another video.